Hi there, Stefan Kesting from grappelarts.com. A reader of my email newsletter recently asked me what's the difference between the Brabo choke and the Anaconda choke. And it's an easy area of confusion for a couple of reasons. First of all, not every school does both these chokes. Second of all, there's some different terms and names floating around, so that can make life confusing. Here's the answer though. They're both chokes that you can apply against the turtle position and in a number of other positions. The Anaconda, mostly against the turtle. So I'm going to teach on my knees. In real life, you'd be up here working it. It's hard for me to teach that way. So essentially, the Anaconda, the hand comes past the neck, in front of the chest, and into the armpit. Here, then I figure four my arms. So it's to the A for Anaconda, A for armpit. You're going to the armpit. The Brabo, you're going the other way. The Brabo is you're coming from the armpit and going to the neck. So I don't have a good mnemonic for B for Bravo, B for, I don't know, beaded necklace. If you can think of a better mnemonic for B to B, put it in the comments below and I'll thank you for it. So let's just go over some of the details that I use for these chokes. And if you haven't seen these chokes before, you'll have a couple new chokes to try out, gi or no gi. So we're here. I've got my weight on my opponent. He's turtled. I put this hand in as deep as I can, and I lock up the figure four. So just come up, Richie. My hand is coming like this and here. Now, I've got a choice. I can either do the complete roll, where I put my head beside his body, and I roll him over the top, and I come here. Now, if I'm super strong, or he's a bit of a wimp, I can squeeze and tap him out here. But most of the time, what I have to do here is run him down. I have to run my legs towards him. What that's doing, essentially my forearm's coming across the neck, my belly is pushing the back of his head into my forearm, which ideally is across the throat. So I'm doing that with my belly. I'm thinking of pushing the back of his head with my belly, and I do that by running forward with my legs, and of course squeezing. Come back here, please. So that's the complete roll. Coming here. Recently, Eric Paulson showed me a simpler version of it, where instead of putting the head to the side and rolling, I just fall over to the side here, and then I run him down again. Same finishing position, different entry. One's a roll, one's a simple fall the other way. Now the Brabo choke, I think, is most typically applied from a half guard position. Richie? You can hit the Brabo from a number of different positions. This would be the most common. We're here in half guard. Richie does the right thing. He's fighting for the underhook. The underhook opens him up to a couple of attacks, one of which is the Brabo. So I'm going to take my hand and come under his armpit. Remember, Brabo goes from the armpit to the neck, to the beaded necklace. I'm coming under here. I'm going to push his head down, and I weasel my hand in as deep as I can. Now I slide my hand here. I don't take my hand off and bring it here because he's going to move his head back. Exactly. So I'm pushing his head in. I'm getting my hand in as deep as I can. Then I slide this forearm across the back of his neck until I lock it up. From here, I stay in the half guard. I rock my weight forward and I squeeze. I rock my weight forward, I squeeze, and he taps. Now, just for completeness, the Brabo is sometimes confused with the gi Brabo. Say I'm passing Richie's guard here and we're fighting in the half guard, and I open up his lapel here. I'm going to take the lapel and pass it up under his armpit and pass it to my hand here. Now I stay in the half guard. See this foot here? That's keeping him in the half guard. I don't try and pass his guard. It works better from half guard. Once I've got this fed under his hand, under his head, I take my hand and I come here and I grab his lapel, palm up. This other hand comes into the lapel here or into the shoulder, and I choke him here, staying in the half guard. If he brings the other hand up here to push my head or defend, I pull this across, I hug the head, And it's this kind of a terrible position where he's being choked by his own deltoid here, and this super tight lapel on the bottom side. So they're both variations of the same thing. Now, just to finish up, I should point out a couple things about both chokes that are similar. Both chokes, you should go as deep as you can on the initial hand. If I'm here, and I just barely have the tips of my fingers on my bicep, then when I start squeezing and he starts fighting, 100% of the time, especially if I'm sweaty, my fingers are going to pop up. I don't want to be here. I want to be here. I want to take the time to go as deep as I can with my hand. Come back to your knees, please, Richie. So with the Anaconda, we're here. This is not going to work. I want to take the time to go here, as deep as I can. This is bad. This is good. It's a huge difference there. The second really key point is to use your body and use your weight. Once I'm in the Anaconda, like I said, I can finish it with my body weight, or I can finish it with my arm strength here if I'm really strong. But most of the time I have to use my body. This is bigger than my arms. My arms just keep the position, and then I use my body here to finish it. Or alternately, for the Brabo here, we come here. If I'm super strong, I might be able to squeeze them here, but really I want to drive forward and put all my weight on them. And the third thing is, both of these chokes, in all reality, you can do them on people roughly your same size or a little bit smaller than you. If there's some super jack dude with gigantic traps and an 18-inch neck and super muscular, this is probably not the technique to use unless your own arms are both long and strong. The ideal Brabo choker, the ideal Anaconda choker has got long and strong arms. If you've got short little arms, this is a hard choke to do. You're better off with other chokes. If you've got not very strong arms, this isn't the best choke to do. It does require some upper body strength. But against somebody who's your size, a little bit smaller, or taller than you but lanky, they're two perfect weapons to use. So like I said, the impetus for this tip, for this little video, came from one of my newsletter readers, and I'm super grateful to him for asking the question because it gives me some interesting material to talk about. Now, if you want to sign up for this newsletter, I strongly encourage it. First of all, you get a whole bunch of interesting tips and tricks and techniques and concepts that will help you with your grappling game, whether you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, submission grappling, MMA, or even Judo or Sambo. I've helped some guys there. Second of all, you get a copy of my Roadmap for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu book, 100% for free. Third of all, I will never share your email address with anybody. I've been asked. I've told those people to go pound sand. And fourth, there's an unsubscribe link on the bottom of every single email I send you. So if you don't like what I'm sending you, you think it's too commercial, you can opt out at any point. And so I would go and sign up for that newsletter right away. Thank you very much. Have a good day.